Hey guys, Tommy with Studio Sense here. Welcome to a brand new day. Today's going to be kind of a fun, interesting video because it's the top 10 designer fragrances according to you so far in this year. What do I mean by according to you? Well, I took the data from FragranceX. The general consensus then in this video is that this is a fairly accurate portrayal of how generally people feel about the fragrances that we're going to talk about. So when we come back, we're going to take a look at the top 10 designer fragrances so far according to you, the data on FragranceX. That and more is coming your way, so stay tuned. Welcome back, friends. Thanks so much for taking the time out to check out today's video. It's a good one. We got some top 10 information according to FragranceX as to what are the most popular designer fragrances thus far in 2022. So let's dive into the list. It's going to be interesting. I don't necessarily personally agree with some of this. A lot of it I do, so I'm curious as to what your thoughts are going to be. So don't forget to comment on the video down below. This is a top 10 list, so we're going to start from 10 and work our way down to the number 1 designer fragrance in 2022 according to you. Coming in at number 10 kind of surprised me a little bit, but it kind of makes sense as well. It's an Azzaro fragrance. Azzaro is very popular for men's fragrance because they come out with some really high quality stuff at a modicum of the price. This particular fragrance is their OG pillar fragrance, the original Chrome, only it is the Eau de Parfum version. So coming in at number 10 is Chrome Eau de Parfum. I was really happy to see this in this list because it is kind of an underrated gem. You wouldn't think so. Chrome is a very well-known name, but not a lot of people are talking about the Eau de Parfum. It's a kind of woodsy aquatic fragrance, which is a nice combination in men's fragrance. This basically opens with fresh mandarin orange. You've got French lavender in the heart and then pine in the base. Very pure woodsy pine. I really enjoy this myself. It performs decently well. And according to FragranceX, it got a 3.98 average vote. Chrome Eau de Parfum coming in at number 10. Every year, Carolina Herrera revisits her CH Men line of fragrances and releases a new edition. So coming in at number 9 is Carolina Herrera's oddly named CH Men Hot Hot Hot. It was supposed to be kind of like a dry, deserty nod towards all those fragrant notes that are almost like foodie notes. They're very warm, very spicy, very rich. Things like Szechuan pepper, angelica root, rhubarb, Madagascan, vetiver. Of course, CH Men is a leather-based fragrance, so it wouldn't be CH Men without the leather. There's definitely leather and sandalwood in the base. I like this one. I really enjoyed it. It is a bit different, and on FragranceX, it's sitting at a 4.00 average. CH Men Hot 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 coming in at number 9. All right, guys, coming in at number 8 is a fragrance that looks like the general populace, at least that frequent FragranceX, are just kind of, yeah, it's good. Currently sitting at a 4.02 average is Valentino Uomo Born in Roma Coral Fantasy. Extremely long name. I don't really care for the name. If we were voting on the name, I'd probably downvote on it. Coral Fantasy, I don't know. It just doesn't sound like a guy's fragrance, but I really enjoy the body and the performance of Coral Fantasy. It's got very much a Divana apple combination in that open that's very refreshing. Geranium, I think it's bourbon geranium. It's got tobacco absolute in the base that gives it that kind of richness, almost bordering resinousness, but it's super smooth. One of the best super smooth fragrances in the new release category. But again, coming in at number 8, Valentino Uomo Born in Roma Coral Fantasy. Gosh, that name. Coming in at number 7 is a fragrance. I pretty much agree with the general voting on this. I'd probably upvote it again myself just because I personally wear it so often. Is another, man, Carolina Herrera is kind of dominating this list. It is from the Bad Boy line of fragrances, currently sitting at a 4.04 average on FragranceX, Bad Boy Cobalt, the blue lightning bolt. This one is just an unusual fragrance that fits the blue category of fragrance for men, and I like the fact, and I think most people like the fact, that it's just a very different blue fragrance. Primarily what you're getting is this black plum and black truffle note combination, pink pepper and lavender also in the open there, and sitting on a like oak wood and a cedar wood base. Very, very nice, very different blue fragrance in the blue category of fragrances for men, and that's why it's coming in at number 7. Bad Boy Cobalt by Carolina Herrera. All right, guys, coming in at number 6, I actually had 2 fragrances, so it's kind of a tie because they both are sitting at a 4.05. So coming in at number 6 are 2 fragrances. Kind of surprised me that they're going head to head because one I consider quite a bit better than the other, although they're both really good. It is a Lacoste fragrance. It is Blanc Eau Fraiche, or L1212 Blanc Eau Fraiche, and the new Aqua de Jo Eau de Parfum version. So yeah, this according to Fragrantica, these are sitting on the shelf together in terms of the quality, the performance. I like this a bit better in terms of performance and the overall smell, but hey, there you go. This one is kind of a minty fresh version of a fragrance for men. This one is more of a driftwood, lemony, fresh, aquatic fragrance. I wouldn't call this necessarily aquatic. It's more, it does have light aquatic feel, more of a high heat fragrance. This one going back to the original ADG, the high quality patchouli and sourced patchouli and vetiver, along with that driftwood backbone. Very, very popular fragrance. Likely will beat this one out overall on other websites. But according to Fragrantica, these are equally the same, and both coming in at number 6. Tied. All right, guys, we're now down to your top 5 designer fragrances thus far in the year 2022. Coming in at number 5 is a fragrance by Hugo Boss in the scent line. It is the scent Le Parfum for him. You've got citrus and ginger in the open. You've got maninka fruit. There's some leather and precious woods in the heart and in the base of this. And there's also iris, really good iris note. The problem I have with this fragrance, and the problem that many I think have, is that iris note doesn't last as long as you want it to. That's what makes this a bit more unique, is that iris kind of smell or overall tonality in the fragrance, and I really enjoy it. It's just not long lasting, not very long lasting, not enough for me anyway. It's a very nice addition to the maninka fruit, kind of dusty maninka fruit kind of fragrances in the scent line of fragrances, and I really enjoy it, especially for cooler weather, and that's why it's coming in at number 5 according to you. The Scent Le Parfum by Hugo Boss. Coming in at number 4 is a summertime fragrance that's going to seem very familiar to you. It is by Dolce & Gabbana. It is Light Blue Italian Love. Very, very similar to Light Blue Forever. Now, Light Blue Forever is a great grapefruit oriented fragrance. This is also a very nice grapefruit oriented fragrance. It smells very, very similar to Light Blue Forever, but it goes into a nice green territory in the dry down, and I think that's what makes it so uniquely different, although again, very similar. Great quality fragrance, performs really well, and that's why it's coming in at number 4. Light Blue Forever Italian Love. All right, guys, we're down to your top 3 fragrances in the designer arena thus far in 2022, according to you, aka the data on Fragrantica.com. I'm actually pretty happy with the location of this fragrance in this list because I really enjoy it personally myself. It is a Narciso Rodriguez fragrance. Coming in at number 3, it is Bleu Noir for him Parfum, the Parfum edition of Bleu Noir line of fragrances, which are all very good. But again, proving that iris is the number 1 note for men in the trending notes for men in men's fragrance in 2022. Iris keeps popping up just about everywhere in popular fragrance, so just keep looking forward to more iris-oriented fragrances out there. It's going to be variations on iris, you know, iris butter, orris concrete, you know, orris root, whatever. It's all iris, pretty much the same or similar qualities in each of those fragrant notes. This one is a fantastic blue, dusty, musky, heavy, but very light in its orientation kind of fragrance, iris-oriented fragrance. And if you don't own it or haven't tried it out, you're doing yourself a disservice. It definitely belongs in number 3 spot, I believe, or even higher. Bleu Noir Parfum is sitting at a 4.24 average out of 5 on Fragrantica right now, and that's why it's number 3. All right, guys, we're down to our top 2 fragrances according to you, aka the data on Fragrantica. Coming in at number 2 is a Givenchy fragrance, probably no surprise or shock to anyone. It is Givenchy Gentleman or Gentleman Givenchy Reserve Privé. Very kind of tongue-twisty kind of name there, but a fantastic, epic fragrance and a great addition in the Gentleman line of Givenchy fragrances. Once again, iris prevails. There's definitely the iris-oriented background, a very finely tuned, refined iris note in this fragrance. But I think what most men like about it, what most voters like about it, is that boozy, you know, that whiskey. I think that Scotch Absolute that's in it is so good. It's so very wearable and smells great, comes across really well, performs really well too as a fragrance overall, with a boozy kind of feel to it. And that's why it's number 2, according to you. This is sitting at a 4.33 average out of 5 on Fragrantica right now. All right, guys, we're down to our number 1 designer fragrance, according to you and according to your vote on Fragrantica.com. It is no surprise, You know, we started with Azzaro, we're going to end with Azzaro. It is the most wanted parfum. I have to actually agree, this is one of the best, most wearable fragrances for men, and it is a beast of a fragrance, meaning it performs and outperforms a lot of fragrances, and in particular in the line that it's from. I thought Wanted by Night was my favorite. They released the Most Wanted. I really like gourmand fragrances, so I really enjoyed that one, but I still liked Wanted by Night's performance. It was a little bit better than the Most Wanted, and now the Most Wanted Parfum took care of that. It definitely outperforms the Most Wanted, performs very similarly, kind of brings back Wanted by Night. So as a seductive masculine fragrance that is a beast of a fragrance, you can't really do much better than the Most Wanted Parfum by Azzaro, and that's why it's number one. Currently sitting at a 4.43 out of 5 average on Fragrantica. The Most Wanted Parfum by Azzaro. Well guys, that's it for your top 10 designer fragrances, at least thus far in 2022. Let me know what your thoughts are. If you've used any of these or own any of these, let me know what your ranking is of these fragrances or other fragrances that you feel should belong in the list. It surprised me. There are quite a few fragrances that I feel like should have belonged in the list. There were a lot of fragrances in the 3.9s that almost made it. Quite a few, like 1 Million Elixir, that you would think would make it, were just really close but didn't quite make the mark that these did in terms of the overall rating. Well, thanks so much though for stopping by, checking out today's video. As always, thank you so much for your support on my channel. I'm Tommy with Studio Sense, and I'll see you tomorrow.